life. All fear is in some way related to some kind of death, whether it's the death of a relationship or a dream or a hope, or certainly the death of our physical body. Everything that the devil brings to the table smells like fear, smells like death, because it leads to death. Romans 6:23, the verse that many of you can quote, says, "For the wages of sin is death." That's part of being what we are, part of being sinners like we are, is that it brings death. And there are a lot of people who live their entire lives in constant fear of death, one kind or another. Maybe it's physical death, maybe it's the death of a relationship, maybe it's the death of a job or a career or whatever it might be, their finances, but they live all their lives in constant fear. Now there's a blank in your outline that says this: as long as you're afraid of death, you'll be afraid of life. As long as you're afraid of death, you're going to be afraid of living. You'll be afraid to take chances. You'll be afraid to stand up for what you believe. You'll be afraid to step out by faith. You'll be afraid to invest in anything. You'll be afraid to fall in love. You'll be afraid to get involved in ministry. You'll be afraid to make a difference with your life. You'll always be afraid of failing and dying and, something being miserable. As long as you're held captive by the fear of dying, you're going to be held captive to the fear of living. Now, Jesus came to do away with death, every kind of death. That was the main purpose of his arrival on this planet. He came also then to do away with fear, every kind of fear. God does not intend that we should live in fear. Now, in the eternal sense, this means that you're going to live beyond this life. You're going to exist beyond this life. That's what, for those who believe in Christ, that's what heaven is all about. Jesus came and died on the cross so that we could live with him for eternity in heaven. But we all are going to exist. You either exist in hell or you live in heaven, one or the other of those two particular things. It also means that in this life, fear doesn't have to hold you back. It doesn't have to hold you hostage. Jesus conquered death, and he can conquer whatever other kinds of fears that you might have. You don't have to worry about eternity. Jesus took care of it. All you have to do is trust in him. You don't have to worry about failure. Jesus took care of that. All you have to do is trust in him. You don't have to worry about anything that happens in this life, because while it may hurt and it will hurt, Jesus has taken care of it. So